But today we got a call for a quote to pressure wash an 8-story building and seal the entire building with bricks. I don't know how much that would cost, but in the middle of New Orleans, an 8-story building that needs to be pressure washed, you're talking equipment and permits. You're probably talking, I would guess, $30,000 or $40,000 at this one little website that I don't have a client for. Now, I do have somebody that is looking at it because I don't want to waste that lead. But the idea of it is I can go into that site and put a little more effort into it and start generating more stuff. Randy says writing blog articles on your lead gen sites once you get leads from other states. I don't look at it like I'm writing blog articles to get leads. I'm writing blog articles to get authority because Google is going to read that blog article and maybe a client reads that blog article. But the thing is that one of the tricks that I like to do is when I'm doing research and, hey, what type of blog articles, instead of just asking ChatGPT or something like that, like I'll go and start looking at the people also ask, and then I'll put various forms of questions and see which one of them pops up with a map pack. Some of them will pop up with a map pack. Some of them will pop up with the answers, like an AI answer. Some of them will not pop up with map packs. If I find a question that people also ask that brings up local contractors, then I'm going to answer that question as a blog article. So a good example would be like, what's the best metal roofer in New Orleans or something like that? Or what's the best type of metal roofing to put on in New Orleans or whatever? If I put that question into Google and I just get websites, that's fine if my website ranks number one for that. But if I get websites and a map pack, right, that's something I want to write a blog article about. Because now I'm gonna write a blog article about it. I'm gonna do a short YouTube video about it. I'm gonna link everything about it, why people are searching for it, because they're asking that question. And it's gonna pull up a chance so Google knows that when people ask this question, they know they're looking for a service, right? The difference between leaf guards, what guard is better, that might pop up a map pack because they know that somebody's in that buying mode. So there's little strategy involved too on what you're writing your blogs on. So you want that authority.
Yeah. As SEO, one of the things that you constantly have to do is find keywords. That's like step one. You can use different tools like Keywords Everywhere, but even go on Google and type in gutter space A, gutter space B, C, D. Like find keywords like that even manually, right? And then search those keywords in Google for your city. Let's just say for Schaumburg, Illinois. What pops up on the first page? Constantly be studying what is popping up on the first page, because oftentimes what you'll find is that most people don't thoroughly write about all these different keywords. Google has to do a guessing game that this keyword still kind of pertains to gutter installation. Google's just going to give that first page ranking result to one of the gutter installation pages tied to a XYZ company. And usually they'll even pop up in the map listing as well. And no other company has a leaf guard as the page title in the search results. That means it's not even an opportunity to generate leads. If you wrote a lead, bam, you're going to now suddenly rank at the top of that first page. And your map listing is going to pop up as well. So all the leads you're just going to take overnight. This is being able to rank site in 24 hours. Sometimes you see like these videos on TikTok and whatnot. This is how you do SEO in 24 hours. This is the type of stuff that gets you rankings like bam overnight.
Yeah, especially if you tie in like a YouTube video, which is a Google owned property. Because if you do a video under a minute, right, that's going to be a short. It's not going to get indexed in Google search. It will get indexed in like Yahoo and Yandex, but it doesn't get indexed in Google. It'll show up on YouTube. But if it's over a minute long, then it will actually show up in search results. And so what I'll do is I'll take the same picture, like it's the featured image of the article or the blog article or the PAA. And the title of that page, I'm going to try to get it as close as I can to the original PAA that pops, right? Like the difference between maybe two different brands, the ones that are on television or something, like this leaf guard versus this one, which one is the best and what are the benefits? And I'm going to write that article, and then I'm also going to create a GBP post, and that same title of that blog article is going to be very close to that. I'll probably put my brand name at the end of it. Then I'm going to create a YouTube video. Now I've created 4 or 5 different lead generating opportunities, not just my website. If they go to that PAA and they put it in and they are located in the city that I'm located in, guess what's going to happen? My website's going to show up, my map may show up, my GBP offer may show up, my YouTube video may show up that leads them to the offer at the end of the video. Hey, if you need a free estimate, click the link below. Boom, it goes to the contact page and then we generate the lead, right? Again, it's all about creating multiple facets of authority. Also too, like how often are you searching something and then you want to know what's the best lead card because you're shopping around. If you don't feel like reading a blog article, but a YouTube video pops up, but it's got your brand all over it, and they might call the number or they might go to that website, and all they're really wanting to do is just watch a little YouTube comparison video of the two that you can have AI create for you now. So it's not even like we have to have this massive budget to create educational videos now with some of these AI creating videos that you can create. And it's just another way to generate more leads.
Guys, imagine if that specific keyword you find is a high ticket job, very unique one. Me and Jared talked about one keyword, which I will not reveal on the site because this is Jared's discovery, but I'll make up something off the dome, right? We work office right now. I'm looking out the window and I see a little rooftop. And I see this guardrail around the rooftop, right? So what if that was a service, right? Like rooftop guardrails, right? Let's say you find something like that. It's commercial. It's going to be relatively high ticket. What Jared told me a couple months ago, these are like $20,000 to $30,000 jobs, right? Let's just say rooftop guardrail is like another 20K job, and you search it, and what you'll find with these very unique keywords is that most companies did not write a whole article about it. Google's just basically going to match a local fencing company for that kind of keyword, right? But imagine if you were to write a whole article about rooftop guardrail on your fencing site or construction site, you are going to rank not only your website, and on your article, you're going to have all the image and all the specifics about this service. Guys, you're going to convert at a higher clip as well because this is high ticket stuff and your company website has a page dedicated to it. That person, of course, is going to call your company. And not only that, but the map listing is going to rank as well for that specific keyword. And on top of that, if it's high ticket, like $20,000 job, you best believe it is very wise, like Jared's saying, to create a YouTube video as well, maybe even shorts, so that you're now dominating the first page of Google for that specific keyword, all the real estate of the first page. And I've seen other students do this for other types of keywords. We call it riches are in the niches. Riches are in the sub niches. Subs, right? Dig into the sub niches. Talk to your contractor, talk to your client. Ask them about what are the weird kind of jobs that you do that is very lucrative. And a lot of them tell you. And those are massive opportunities where you can start writing articles, making YouTube videos. Before I would say, hey, go make an article, but let's think more holistic about this, right? You will win much faster in the long term. Jared's saying YouTube video, article, post on your GBP about this keyword. Everything we talked about, some people ask questions about that specific keyword on other articles or that same article. Maybe you create another article around it. Maybe you create 3 articles about that keyword and just go dominate it. And I think that kind of effort is high return on time invested because, again, you're not competing for the basic keywords like plumber, XYZ city. Everybody's trying to rank for that. That's going to be difficult. Right. That's going to take a lot of effort to try to rank for that keyword. But these hidden keywords, sub niche keywords, you're going to spend far less time and it's going to be far more lucrative. So again, the more you can find these, like you're going to have higher return on time invested.
Depending on if you're working a job, if you do this full time, like I'll sit here sometimes 8 hours, and then sometimes I'll spend an hour or two, whatever, right? It really just depends. But if you're trying to kill your job, let's just say that you want to work 4 hours a day, right? It might take you an hour to do a blog article, a YouTube video. That's how quick you can do stuff with AI tools. So if you worked 4 hours a day, you would be able to work on 4 sites a day. If you worked on 4 sites a day and you legitimately have 5 days a week, that's 20 websites that you're working on every single week. So if your average website's 750 to 1500 or even higher with some of these sub niches that rank faster, 2,000-3,000, let's just say that your average is 1500 for those sites. If you have 20 sites that you're working 4 hours a day, do the math. If you rank 50% of that, that's 10 sites at 1500, that's $15,000 a month. You're working a part-time job in your home, working 4 hours a day. Wow. When you really start to do the math with it, it's astonishing, but you have to stay focused, right? You don't want to get caught up in the craziness of it, which sometimes we do. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like some of the stuff that we have to do, like dealing with customers and clients and all that kind of sucks. It's like with my gutter guy, he didn't pay me for a few months and I had to go back and look because I have so many people paying me in different things. So I had to log into CallSling and I'm like, man, this sucker's getting phone calls. And he hasn't reached out to me and said, hey, I can't pay you. I'm still tight. Guess what? The week after I turned him off, I got a payment. I still kept him off though. And then another week later goes by, I get a call, and then he called me today and was like, hey, what's going on? I just said, hey, I'm done. Boom. And I found another guy that's, oh, hey, I want to do screen porches. I want to do this. I want you to add screen porches, glass enclosures. I want to add all that stuff to the website, patio covers, because it's all in that same niche. So now I can go create more service pages and take that $500 client that I just signed. So it's a new client. I said, piss on the old guy because he threw me under the bus and just didn't keep me informed. And this other client said, hey, let's add all these other sub pages. And I'm like, okay, great. And the reason I didn't add them before is because the other guy didn't do them and he was getting paid. So there was no point. But now I have a reason to go in there and saying, okay, cool. I'm going to bring this $500 client to a $1,000 a month client by just ranking some more service pages for some of these other things that he's able to do that kind of fits within that same niche of metal and aluminum and all that stuff, right? Not just gutters. Now we could do patio covers and glass enclosures and things like that. So it's just more opportunity. I don't have to necessarily go create a brand new lead gen site to make an extra 750. I might have an extra 750 right there with the site that's already producing leads and already has authority. And so now if I just add more service pages and add more stuff that we do, boom, we'll get more leads, we'll get more stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%. Another reason why that's the other X factor of this business is we can't do this business on our own. We have to be partners with these contractors. It does pay to do due diligence on the people that you decide to partner with. Make sure that they can do a lot of the services that exist in that industry. This is why it makes you sound more pro as well when you talk to these business owners. Make sure you're asking them questions. What are all the services you guys can do? Because my site already has authority. Yes. It can rank easy for a lot of these other keywords. Give me all the keyword lists. One time I talked to a Metal Gates person and they gave me a crap ton of keywords I wasn't even thinking about, like down to the brand of the electric gate motor, LiftMaster gate repair, things like that. Your client, if they're a smart business owner, they should know a lot of these keywords that the average keyword research tool might not tell you.
Another great place to go, like Reddit. All of these places will go in and just do your research. Just search as much as you can. Like you said, go in there and gate this, gate that. I have a fencing guy here that does electric gates and things like that, because one of the things he's competing with and that he bitches about is like the guys on Facebook that underbid him on privacy fences. And it's hard. Like if you're charging $30 a foot and there's a guy on Facebook that charges $10 a foot, and you're talking about 200 feet, that's an extra $2,000. But if you know what you're worth and you're going to charge 28 and you do a really good job, sometimes people don't understand the difference between a good job, because you could throw the fences in without any concrete and do it for $20 a foot. But the first time any wind comes by, the fence blows down. Then I'm like, okay, cool. What can we do? I started focusing on being the number one guy for electric gates and gate openers and building custom gates. And so now the guy welds gates and he goes and installs, and then there's an electrician factor and there's this. And so it opens up a lot of opportunity, because again, there's a lot of stuff that goes into those types of things like electronic gates. And what if a guy wants an electronic gate, but he doesn't have electricity there? There's opportunity there for that person to make money. So just knowing and understanding the niche that you're going into is important. And so same thing with if you're going into fencing, like wood fencing, right? How many fence websites or fence installers go in and say they offer fence staining or deck refinishing or fence painting, these little things that they can do add-ons that you offer that nobody else does, right? And so again, it's just a matter of getting those couple extra calls. You can rank number one, and if you're only getting 20 calls and you're like, man, I'm not getting enough phone calls, well, maybe like your due diligence was off a little bit. That doesn't mean that it's a wall. Just look and see what other things that you can relate to and go in and add 10 more leads a month for the different types of stuff, or 15 more leads a month. Because guys, like when you think about it, that's only 15 extra leads a month. That's 3 calls a week. But if they're closing 25, 30%, that's 3 to 4 extra jobs a month. So if your average job is $2,000, that's an extra $6,000 a month. So that's a lot for those extra 15 leads. So when you got to think about it like that, like I have a land clearing site, right? Land clearing. And I went in and started working on the land clearing site. And land clearing is just, oh, I got a piece of property. I need to clear, cut all the trees down. But there's a lot more to that, right? Because the guys got heavy equipment. So now I started doing like gravel driveways, like where the culverts are underneath the ground with all the water. Because that involves heavy equipment. It involves an excavator. It involves this. And my guy does all that stuff. House pads. Like a guy wants to build a house. They need mud. They need to elevate it. Boom, house pad. So like ponds. People who live out in the country in that area want to build a pond on their property, right? So like it started off as a land clearing website, but it's got pond excavation, it's got gravel roads, it's got this, it's got that. And then those kind of things lead to big, massive jobs, right? Like I talked to him the other day and he was like, I went out there for a $5,000 land clearing job. And it's some sort of manufacturing company that was renting space in New Orleans and decided to go out in the country. And they bought massive acres and they're putting big buildings. And they're like, we need all of this entire land cleared. Plus we need a gravel road. We need pads for our metal building. So it turned into a 300,000 job. Right. So that gets you thinking like, okay, cool. I'm going to add culvert replacement. I'm going to add gravel roads, gravel this, house pads, this. You start adding that stuff to the site. And again, you don't have to do it like, oh, I'm going to work 8 hours on this one. You can do it because everything takes time on the internet. You can literally just take your time and do it over 2 or 3 weeks and add those couple of pages and start seeing the results come in. And again, like you get a guy that lands $200,000 or $300,000 job and it's a 6-month job or something. Like how important are you to this guy's business? Like legitimately, he could write me a 10% check or a 5% check and I just made what 15 grand. That is the type of stuff that we can do that these guys are not doing. Like your average business owner, they might spend an hour every 3 or 4 months working on their website if they work on their own stuff, if they don't have an SEO high or they don't touch it.